Hey, so I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm gonna talk about this. What I'm gonna say. Just I've been observing this background is just it's actually a game. It's Avatar. I don't know. It's beautiful. This is where I want to have my speech. This is where I want to talk to you. Is that okay? Can I do that? So southern border. Like I've watched the world get super interesting in the last, I don't know, 6 years, 8 years. Things have definitely radically changed, and I don't think it's all, it's all for the good of people, like everywhere, right? In all these countries. Um, the sovereignty of any nation is determined, by its control of its borders. Sort of the basic premise. Do we have countries or not? That's all I want to start with, I guess. I don't know. Do we have countries or not? Hi, who power? World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, UN, super villains, rich weird billionaires. Do we have countries anymore? Because it appears in a lot of places and to a lot of people in a lot of those places that we don't, right? Some people in those places are like, yeah, this is the way it's supposed to be. We just I I don't know. So let's focus down instead of all these places around the world. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Maybe instead let's before we go back to the border, let's stay broad. Let's stay broad here. Okay. Wow. This. Oh, geez. Displaced people. Displaced people. Let's just call them people. Don't call them migrants or immigrants, dude. They're people. They've been displaced. The reasons why will may differ how we want to label them, right? An immigrant. Why? Oh, they're immigrating. Was this forced? Is this? You know what I'm saying? Um. So it's going on in Europe. You see all this stuff going on in Europe. We see all this stuff going on in America, right? Probably Canada as well. Western Europe. It's not really so much happening in Eastern Europe, like Russia, China. Uh, I don't think these fluxes of people coming in are happening in Argentina, Brazil, right? I don't think that there's a lot of that going on as we're seeing in Western European type countries, U.S., North America, and Western Europe. You know where we're not seeing this as well? Japan, motherfuckers out there listening. Not the people of Japan, not the good people of Japan. I feel like the good people of Japan got their heads on straight, squarely straight, and they're like, no, fuck you, fuck you, fuck boats of people coming from wherever. Maybe they're too far for it to happen. I don't know. Maybe the government was approached and they're like, no, that is not going to happen. So it's not happening there. Dude, it's not happening in Japan. I think we should step up to those standards. We used to say like, oh, it's European standards. Oh, it's European. It's so lofty. It's so amazing. We want to be like that. Well, I'm saying no, no. Let's change this. We want to be like Japan. Japan's an island. We're kind of an island here. We've got this southern border we need to discuss, but the idea that they're a sovereign nation and they're saying, and they're primarily, the population is like, what is it, 96% Japanese by race, something like that. It's a very high number. They're very homogeneous in their population, and it's still super safe there, and it's super polite, and because the people that have come there that are residents, foreigners living in, or people that have naturalized to become a citizen there. It's been a process, and I'm going to guarantee you, knowing what I know about the processes over there, it was very orderly, very detailed, and thoughtful. Thoughtful. So back to the U.S. here. We've got this concept, and even our northern border a little bit, right? Didn't we have some sort of recent explosion involving a vehicle at the northern border? That's a whole another topic. But the southern border, I can't just say, oh, it's Biden. It's Biden. I can't go just there. That's just too simple. That's too simple. It's too convenient, and I don't think it's really where I need to be looking. But the point is, at some point, someone just said, when he got into office, whoever's making the decisions said, let's just bing bing, the railroad crossing guards are coming up. Let's put out the word. Tell them all, yeah, come on. Now, I'm smart enough to know people talk about overpopulation and all this stuff, and that's doesn't apply everywhere. It doesn't apply everywhere. Go back to Japan. Their population is dying. It's a very, very obvious example of something that's going to contract and shrink real hard. They're not going to die. Japanese people aren't going to die. I don't think there's any kind of. I feel like I can't say anything. They haven't. Although a lot of them have gotten certain medical processes. They've gotten some processes, and maybe that will contribute to it. But most Western countries post World War II, their civil countries, their population numbers are shrinking rapidly. They're shrinking rapidly, and so there's a need, maybe in a super capitalist society like America, right, to have this continued growth. Otherwise, we can't handle a contraction. We can't. So what's the solution? Maybe it's national security. We need to open up the doors and just flood the country with the boots to fill the seats, because everybody's going to be dying off, because demographics are going on, just natural aging demographics are happening, but then also medical procedures. We're still recommending for children, healthy children, with apparently, when I saw the CDC slide about the mortality rate for someone in that, it's like they're 0.00. I don't know what the number is, but it's statistically so insignificant, like it doesn't exist. They're not, unless the child has some other pre-existing condition or whatever. Just our average kids in America, even a little unhealthy, even a little tubby, okay, not that much exercise and poor food. That's fine. That they're still anyway. I'm going off sideways. So we're going to have this need for bodies here. We're going to have a need for people to do stuff until the robots can replace them all, right? The AI can replace all these things. We're going to have the need for human resources. This is just a human resource concept here. It's just human resources we're dealing with, and we need more. How do we do it? We could do it legally. you know, the high fence, the wide gate. So easy to just add more staff to all of the offices. Make it remote, right? People could work remote. You're on secure something. You're processing people in. We could be doing this like super legit and reliable before we just catch fingerprint release. I don't know. And the border agents are saying the amount of baddies caught. Congratulations to them. I think to be given the conflicted messages of stop everybody, and then but at the same time, you know, when you signed up, you had this notion of what you were supposed to be doing, and now it's radically changed. The discontent in that group is high, and that's sad, you know. But thank God that we still have people there trying. And so why else? If we say well it's not, if it's not like somebody going, well, we have to do it for national security, we need to let in potential terrorists, we need to let in all of these, mostly, you know, there's some families, there's children, there's women, right? That's happening. We see that, but often they don't seem connected with other people, and it's like some are propped and some are maybe trafficked, right? We start to talk about the trafficking that's going on. Oh shit! And then if we pull out a small amount from these caravans, pull out the women and children, like what percentage is women and children from what you've seen, your own observations? If you've seen stuff, it seems to be a very very small percent. It's not like normal. If you think about society and like, okay, a whole village has to like relocate, right? Okay, and there's single dudes in the village, and there's families, and there's everybody lives in the village. It's a village. There's going to be a percentage of that's women and a percentage that's kids. And the percentage that we see marching across the border, do you understand the percentage that we see marching across the border is not representative of a typical village? It seems like it's all just like, I don't know, 70, 80% men? Is that, and some people go, no, it's much higher, but I don't know. I feel like even if we're at that 70s, now are these working age people that can build bridges and dig, you know, dams and, you know, work construction and rebuild and do things? Sure. Would a lot of them want to come here and try to assimilate into the culture and you know, the dream and all that? Yeah, I bet they would. I'd be damn straight, depending on where they came from and stuff. Are some of them probably here on other than sincere reasons? Yeah, we know that. The reports just to everybody about terrorist people on terror watch lists, okay? People that our government has previously said, yes, that motherfucker, we got to watch that motherfucker. He's not allowed in. TWA, right? See, I'm saying TWA. I'm going back. Pan Am, Southwest Airlines, Frontier. Even though they would, as shitty as they are, they would still catch that motherfucker because the computer go beep. Oh, you're on the terror watch list. That's a higher priority than the no fly list. Okay, right? It's a terror watch list. They would be surrounding the airport at that moment, right? That's how it is. But now they can just come through. Now they've come through. Lots of them have come through the southern border, and no, I want to believe they've been all apprehended, right? That they've been caught, that they've been parsed out, that we did the job. There was some primary sifting at the border. Like, it's not just an open flow, that there's some area where there's a sieve, a real loose sieve. They're just like, okay, fingerprint, snapshot, what's your name, what's your story, document whatever the fuck they can, and then, okay, bye, right? And I think they're catching people ahead of that, and hopefully those people are being detained, sent back something, to try again. I don't know. But if it's not us saying we need the workforce, if it's not for workforce purposes, right? Which may be in my head the most valid reason, but then you just open the border, you secure it, and then you widen it. Secure it and widen it, not open it. Secure it and widen it. Widen the gate. But if it's not for the purposes of replacing the U.S. workforce, a diminishing, aging population, then why else would somebody? Why else would it? Why else would it be allowed to happen? That's it. Why else would it be allowed to happen? It being wide open fucking borders, overworked, people getting through without being, people missing the sieve, not being fingerprinted, not be already in here. How many fifth column do we have in our country? How many years has it been since the great, World War II, the great victory, the honorable, all the horrible shit that everybody did on all sides, right? I don't want to go there. But how many places have we done stuff? Drop bombs, use drones, hurt people from afar, artillery. You know what I mean? How many broken families? How many little angry people? Fuck America! You killed my parents. How many of those are out there in recent decades? We're some sort of motherfucking police force and sticking our noses everywhere. We're creating like little NWA rap groups. Fuck the police everywhere, right? We're dropping bombs. And now we got the border open, and now we have some enemies in some of these places. We've been dropping bombs that they're just not, they're highly organized. Their countries have been around longer than we have, by orders of 10 times places that have been around in the Middle East since the beginning of time, right? China, and we have people coming across the border, a lot of military-aged men, and I don't know. I think that it wouldn't be super hysterical to think that, like, back when we talk about the Iran hostage situation in the 70s, right? And they talked about, like, if we would ever try to afterwards go to war with Iran, like, they planted sleeper cells here. A lot of, back in the day, gas stations, a lot of them were owned by Persian people, hardworking families and whatnot. Some people suspected that a small, tiny percentage would be called upon, right, by the government at some point to do something, right? The fifth column, the sleeper cell. There was a show on TV about the Americans, right? About Russian sleeper cells. It's we have them. You don't think we have them in other countries? So it's just all part of the stupid way the world works, right? So the idea that this wide open border would be used as an opportunity by holy fuck anybody who wanted to inject an agent into our country, potentially, just the northern border. If we're doing that all down there, what about the northern border? Especially when the weather gets better, it's there's nothing going on up there, right? So now's the time, and then if I go down that road of, is it being done on purpose somehow to let soldiers, to let sleeper cells, to let saboteurs and provocateurs and like terrorists, you know what I'm saying? The whole fucking Gaza thing. They come here across the border with no guns, hopefully, right? But it's super easy to get them here. I don't know. I don't know how many people were running around neighborhoods with, going crazy until they got caught. And so I have bad thoughts. I don't like to have these kind of insecure feelings, and I'm sure most people don't either. Most people wouldn't like to think, because it's sort of like weird scenario, right? You had to have to go down the road of imagining a country being infiltrated, and then here's the thing. Here's the thing. We got to continue down the road a little bit down the rabbit hole. If they are they meaning most of the people that should be the responsible gatekeepers, the gatekeepers of our country, the people that make the decisions that control the gates, right? See the big gates around the White House, you know, around the Capitol building. There's nothing wrong with having gates, bruh. Didn't they have 200-foot walls around the Vatican or something like that? Kept the hordes out. So they're being let in. It's being allowed to happen by the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers have either been compromised somehow, bought off, compromised, honeypotted, threatened. Fuck, I don't know, man. I don't know. Just like this is the way it's got to be, and when it's all done, something's going to happen, and when it's all done, you're going to be all right, man, because you helped us. No, you're going to be the first, the next. Once it's all done, you're the first wave of the. Okay, now who do we take out? You're going to be. If you're actively helping to subvert the sovereignty of a country by somebody that represents something else other than the sovereignty of that country, they represent something else. A super sovereign, right? A world sovereign, some group of oligarchs, I don't know, right? Some group of supervillains, right? Somebody with a view of how things should be going, and maybe they had reins of power. And that's a whole other story. So I don't know. Is it being allowed to happen to just destabilize a country on purpose? Is it being allowed to happen in multiple places around the world? We look at where it's been going on in Europe longer than it's been going on here. and the longer term anecdotes, the longer term data showing how these populations are not respecting the local cultures with regards to trying to assimilate, learn the language, attitudes towards women, attitudes towards gay people. You know what I'm saying? Things in the Western world we consider, even to the chagrin of some, but worthwhile, lofty, right? Women should be able to drive and have a right to vote. You don't throw gay people off of buildings. You just don't. So you know, the mixing of the cultures, it's a clash of cultures. And it's being sanctioned by the governments in the various places that it's being allowed to happen. Like in Hungary, is it? Hungary and Poland? They're like, no, this isn't going to happen here either. And their culture continues to just go on, and everybody's wearing lederhosen and eating kraut, and it's just awesome, right? Or I don't know what they do there. I'm just, they're Slavic. I understand where they are. But you get the point. And we look at France. I don't know how many little. I don't even try to tune into I play a lot of games. I play a lot of games. I try not to tune into the shit show too much, man. I put too many dots together. It scares me. So I'm a Freemason. So what? So